everyone! Welcome to Lauren's Scrap Lot. My name is Lauren Urbonas, and you have joined me for Season 6, Episode 1 of the Great North American Stamping Show. Now, every week I'm going to be competing with 3 other demonstrators, Salva, Jodie Reinart, and Lisa Bowden, and we are going to try and get your votes to win a crown for the week in our friendly competition. Now, the fun part about this is you get to watch 4 different videos every week. You can comment and engage with all of us. We love hearing from you. And then you get to click that little like button on whichever card or project you think should take the crown for the week. So this is Season 6. We are going to be playing with Stampin' Up's brand new holiday mini catalog. So this guy was released on September 4th, I believe, and every week we are going to pick a different set of layouts and modify them using supplies that we have or ideas that we want to play with. So this week we are on page 39 of the mini catalog. We were challenged to use the Autumn Tool Bundle and to change up one of these cards somehow. So I decided to change up this little guy here. I love the stylish shapes dies, which I assume were used on these circles, and I figured, hey, I can play with something else in the catalog that I have been using quite often as I'm prepping for some of my holiday events. So I turned that card into a Peaceful Garden rendition. So here's my version. I've got some nice designer series paper that I've used as my card base. I've got those circle focuses, and I've even used the gorgeous glitter paper for my dub for this project. So if you're interested in checking out these supplies, they are on page 32 and 33 of the holiday catalog, and you can see the great sets of designer series paper, the dies and the stamps, glitter paper, gems, ribbon, and an embossing folder, all there for you to play with. If you were in Canada, I'd love to be your demonstrator. You can shoot me a note and I'm happy to get you on my catalog mailing list as well as my email list if you send me your email address. You can also shop online at laurenurbonas.stampinup.net at any point to either see what other products coordinate with these or to check out what you can grab for yourselves, because this is a great catalog. There's so many good things. So let me show you how to make this card. It is actually very, very simple, and you can make this sort of a card basically with anything you have in your stash too. So please don't forget that we are showing you an idea that we've come up with, but we'd love for you to use your own supplies. So if you don't own everything that we do, no stress. You can still follow along with our measurements. I'll give them to you as we're crafting, and they're also in the description. So you can just recreate this with your own supplies. So to begin, you are going to need a piece of designer series paper. This can be whatever pattern you have, of course, but I'm using those gorgeous sheets that come from, look how pretty they are, that come from the Peaceful Garden designer series paper set. So you're going to see this dove in a little bit. I've used the circle dies to kind of cut out a focal image, but you can see I've already been chopping this package to bits. Some of it's Christmassy, some of it's not. So it's a perfect addition to your collection because you don't have to just use it for the holiday season. So here we go. We need this piece to be 4 inches by 12 inches, and we're going to put 2 score marks, which I know you can't see, but we're going to do one at 5 1/4 and one at 10 1/2. So that's going to be our 2 score marks on this paper. Now it's up to you whether you want to have the flowers showing through more predominantly, or if your preference is to show the blue a little bit more, you can choose to flip back and forth between the pages. But to make my card, I'm going to fold this one skinny piece backwards and then tuck the other section right underneath. If you've got a bone folder handy, you might want to give a nice crisp line to those 2 sections. And you can see here's the inside of my card, here's the front. This flap kind of is on its own at the moment, so we're going to take a little bit of double-sided tape and just put that across this rectangle and close that panel up. So that's giving you the fullest potential that 12 by 12 piece does. If you want this card to be a little longer, you can go ahead and modify those measurements, but this still fits in an A2 envelope, and it is a great way, pardon me, for you to showcase both the front and the back of the designer series paper. So let's deal with the inside of the card first, okay? So far I've left it blank. Of course, I can come back later and put a sentiment or something in there, but until I know who this is for, I like to just leave it. So first off, I'm going to start with a piece of Secret C cardstock. This will be 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and it's going to go on the inside of the card base. Kind of fun to use designer series paper as your card base. I'm sure, just like me, we all have a stash of it. It's a great use. Now, unfortunately, you can't really write on the Secret C unless you're using, you know, a glitter pen or the white ones. But I'm going to cut out a piece of white now so that I have something to write on. So that piece is going to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay, so that's the inside of the card. Welcome to come back later and decorate some more. Now you have some die cutting to do, and that, if you have them, is best done with the stylish shaped circles. So we're going to go not with the largest circle, that one's still on my shelf. This is the second largest circle, and then the two after it. So it would be the second largest, third largest, and fourth largest, whichever way you want to go with that, okay? So with that large one in our stack, we're going to cut out a gorgeous set of doves. This is going to be a really, really nice focal piece for you to use. Don't attach it, just kind of lay it out. That next size up, we're going to cut a different pattern. It doesn't really matter which sheet you've picked, it's completely up to you. So you're just going to pick something else from that stack that appeals to you. So I've got that nice blue pattern striped one. And then last but not least, we need a focal piece for the dove to rest on. And there is a designer series paper that has just kind of this marbled look to it. It's very subtle, but I've just cut that out with the third die. Okay, so there's my 3 circles. We're going to do a little bit of strip cutting first and then assemble everything together. Okay, so your first strip under here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is one piece of cardstock that is Secret C, and I've cut that at 1/2 inch by 3 1/2 inches. That's going to be that strip that goes across our kind of pattern there. And then last but not least, we have this strip that we're going to do a little stamping on. So it will be 1/2 inch by 4 3/4 to start, and then we'll rip it down to size after. And while your machine is going, you might as well cut a dove. So you can do this out of white cardstock or glitter paper, but I used the complementing glitter that came with the suite. So it's kind of a cloud cover dove. If you are right up close, it'll look a little bit blue. So I've got all those cut, and now we're going to do a little bit of stamping and then assembling, okay? So I like to do my stamping first so it has time to dry. So I've grabbed that strip of cardstock or designer paper once again. This guy, I am grabbing a scrap to work off of because we end up stamping off the page. And then we're going to grab that Peace, Love, and Joy stamp that is in our bundle here. So Peace on Earth stamp, let me show you here. It's got the peace, love, and joy. There's also sympathy, encouragement, and Christmas all in one set. So it's a really, really nice one. Secret C ink. Here we go. So we don't want this perfect on here. In fact, this is why you've got your scrap. we're going to stamp purposefully off the page. And don't worry about that beginning because we're going to end up cutting it or ripping it, whatever you prefer. Okay, so that just peace, love, and joy kind of all across that strip. And then you're done with your stamping for the moment. I like to let that dry, so let's start attaching other things here. First two are going to be dimensionals on the back of your larger two squares. So, got all of these mini dimensionals ready to go. And you can work on attaching them to your card. And here we go. I should mention to you guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel or to any of the other ladies' channels, please make sure to do that because we want you to be notified every Thursday when we post a new video. And you'll want to, after you're done this video, go in the description here because you'll find the links to Julie, Jodie, and Lisa's videos in my description down there. So you can go directly to their cards and see what they've come up with for the week. I don't even know. We don't tell each other till the day before. So I don't know what they're making. All right, now before you do your small circle, we're going to start attaching our strips. We're going to start with the Secret C one, but do you see if I rest this on my paper, half of it is kind of bent downward and half of it is resting on top of the already popped up circles. So we only want dimensionals under the section that's going to be on the card front. And then if it makes you feel better, which it often does to me, you can put a little bit of double-sided tape just on the section here at the front that will touch your already raised up circle so that everything's snug and secure. Nothing's gonna fly away or fall off. Yeah, it does not want to come off. Give me a second. There we are. This guy just comes down near the bottom right-hand corner. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. And I've moved it, you know, about ½ an inch away from the edge of the card. So there's one. Now, here's where you bring in this strip that we did our stamping on. And you could certainly just put it down like this. It's a little long, so you'd probably have to trim it. But I loved the look of the ripped edges that our sample had. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to come across here. I'm just going to rip kind of at a little diagonal. That's why your piece is so much longer than you actually need. And then we're going to do the other side as well. So ripping up towards yourself gives you a really nice white roughed up edge. And for me personally, I wanted this one to rest kind of half over top of the blue. So all I'm going to do is take a tiny bit of glue, put it on the top of my Secret C, not right to the edge because it doesn't go right to the edge on the sample. But this will go over top right here and then just hold it in place for a second so it can dry. This dries pretty quick. All right. This is cute. I feel like this is cute all on its own, but we need that focal piece. So we're going to keep going and we're going to grab that white circle next. This is also getting popped up on dimensionals, but because it needs to rest just kind of in this empty space, I'm just going to put my dimensionals right on top of that word and then right on top of the coordinating circles that it's going to balance on top of. Just helps me from accidentally putting it somewhere it shouldn't be and going the wrong way. Okay, this guy goes right down here. I know it covers your words, but it's okay. And then here's our dove. We're going to add some more dimensionals to bring that dove to life. Just a few kind of in the center of the body because the wingtips do tend to come off the circle. So as long as they're centered in the body, you're good. There's my sparkly dove. Okay, now to finish this, I wanted to bring in the set of gems that is available with this suite. These are perfect. They don't have to be wintry. These do look like snowflakes, but then they also are flowers. So these nice hues of blue, you can bring in whichever ones you want and just add a few little details to your card. Okay, 1, 2, bring out a white one, wingtips. It's very subtle, but very pretty. And there you have it. There is my version of our project for the week. So I do hope you loved it. Give it a like, give me a comment. I'm happy to hear from you anytime. And thank you again so much for coming back for another season of the Great North American Stamping Show. We will see you Thursdays for the other editions this season. We'll be crafting straight through November, and you can always come back Tuesday evenings too. I have a Show Me How It's Done series where I have a lot of other projects that I'm dying to show you guys. Chat soon. Bye.